You withdraw what looks like €100 abroad. Your bank statement later shows a charge of $122. You tap your card, see no warning, and keep traveling, only to discover after you get home that small fees quietly stacked up on nearly every payment. Nothing felt wrong in the moment, but the money still drained away. In this video, I'll explain why that happens and why it's built into the system. This is one of the most common travel money frustrations. ATM withdrawals feel higher than expected. Card payments look normal, but statements don't match what you remember spending. Bank apps show reasonable exchange rates until the final charges appear days later. Most travelers assume they made a mistake. In reality, they didn't. These costs aren't random, and they aren't errors. They're the result of several independent systems doing exactly what they're designed to do, just not in a way that's transparent to you. If you've ever wondered how 100 becomes 122, this is where it starts to make sense. Once you see how these layers work together, the confusion disappears, and so does the feeling that you're being singled out. Let's start with foreign ATM withdrawals. When you use an ATM abroad, the first fee often comes from the machine itself. Many ATMs charge a local operator fee, a fixed amount added directly to the withdrawal. That fee is usually baked into the total shown on screen, not itemized in a way that's easy to notice. Next, your home bank processes the transaction. At this stage, your bank may add its own ATM access fee, sometimes a flat charge, sometimes a percentage. Then currency conversion happens. The exchange rate applied is not the Google rate you see online, but a network rate with a built-in spread. By the time the transaction settles, you've paid 3 separate costs, even though it looked like a single withdrawal. Now let's talk about one of the biggest traps, dynamic currency conversion. This is the moment when an ATM or card terminal asks whether you want to pay in local currency or your home currency. Choosing your home currency feels safer. It feels familiar. But when you do that, the conversion is handled by the ATM or merchant's provider, not your bank. Those providers apply their own exchange rate, often significantly worse than bank rates. The transaction locks in immediately at that inflated rate. Any local fees still apply on top. That single screen choice can quietly add 5 to 15% to a payment without ever calling it a fee. Another source of confusion is timing. The rate you see on an ATM screen is usually an authorization rate, a preliminary estimate used to approve the transaction. The final settlement happens later, often 1 to 3 days afterward. That's when the actual network rate and bank markup are applied. If the transaction crosses a weekend, rates can be worse due to lower market liquidity. ATM withdrawals are especially prone to this delay, so the number you remember seeing isn't necessarily the number that ends up on your statement. This is where bank apps add to the confusion. Many apps display live or mid-market exchange rates when you open them, but those are current reference rates, not the historical rate locked in at settlement. Your statement reflects the rate applied on the processing day, plus any spreads and fees. So when you compare later, it feels like the numbers don't line up. They do, just not in the same time window. None of these charges feels devastating on its own, but across a trip they compound. Multiple ATM withdrawals, dozens of card payments, each with small separate costs layered invisibly. The key mental model is this: 3 independent layers, the local operator, the payment network, and your bank, each taking their share. None of them shows you the full picture. Once you understand the system, the mystery disappears. You can start spotting where the money leaks actually happen, before they quietly drain your travel budget. That awareness alone changes how you experience paying abroad. Now that you understand how these costs stack up, it's worth asking whether any available tools actually behave differently. Traditional bank cards often combine ATM fees, FX markups, and conversion spreads in ways that are hard to see until after the trip. Some travelers instead use fintech accounts designed to separate those layers and make currency conversion more transparent. Tools like Wise or Revolut don't magically remove every cost. Local ATM operator fees still exist, and poor currency conversion choices can still hurt you, but they can reduce or eliminate certain bank-side fees and make FX pricing clearer. which is why experienced travelers often use them as a backup when paying abroad. Understanding the system comes first. Choosing tools that expose some of the hidden layers is simply the next step. I've included a few services in the description that some travelers use to make currency conversion and fees easier to see while traveling. This often helps them to avoid extra fees along the way. If this helped, please leave a like. It tells YouTube this is worth showing to other travelers. Subscribe for more calm, practical travel tech explanations, and leave a comment with any payment surprises you've run into abroad, especially the ones you wish someone had explained sooner. Thanks for joining me, and safe travels, wherever you're headed.